There's a number that explains America. It's not a number you'll see in the headlines, and it's definitely not something people talk about at dinner parties. But this one number, it defines the quiet panic happening in millions of homes, every single night.
I want you to meet Marcus and Daniela. On paper, they're doing great. I mean, together, they pull in $130,000 a year. But here's their terrifying reality. They are one bad day, just one unexpected bill, from a complete and total financial collapse. And the craziest part, they have no idea how they got here.
Look, they did everything they were told to do. They went to school, they got good jobs, they pay every single bill on time. So why does it feel like they're on a treadmill that's just speeding up and up and up? Why, when they're earning more than they ever have, are they falling further and further behind? Okay, let's really dive into this.
To really understand the national crisis, you first have to understand the personal one, that sinking feeling of doing everything right and it's still not being enough.
So last March, Marcus gets a raise, 6%. His manager shakes his hand, tells him to be proud. And for a moment, he actually felt it. He felt like he was winning. But then he went home and did the math. The raise, it was already gone. It was eaten alive by these tiny little increases in rent and insurance and groceries. It just vanished before he ever even got to spend a dime of it.
What's so incredibly important to understand is this. Marcus and Daniela are not doing anything wrong. They are the exception to the rule. They are not an outlier. They are the data. And that data, well, it's brutal.
We're always told that we live in the most powerful economy in human history. But for the average person on the ground, that story just doesn't match the reality of their bank account.
Okay, here's a number that should just stop you in your tracks. Nearly 6 out of every 10 Americans cannot cover a $1,000 emergency with their savings. Just think about what that really means. Your water heater breaks on a Sunday night. For most people, that's not an inconvenience, it's a debt sentence.
But wait a second. You'll hear these reports on the news about average savings. They'll tell you the average American savings account is over $62,000. I'm telling you, this number is a lie. It's a statistical phantom, just totally blown out of proportion by a few extremely wealthy people at the top. It's basically designed to hide the truth.
If you really want the truth, you have to look at the median. That's the number in the exact middle. The median American household has only $8,000 in total savings. And you know what? For people under 35, it's even lower.
But here it is. This is the one number that explains everything. The median amount of money set aside for an emergency is $500. That's not a safety net. That's a wish.
So, how in the world did we get here? See, most people believe being broke is some kind of personal failure, a moral failing. But what if it isn't? What if it's a trap, one that's been engineered by a system with rules literally designed to make you lose?
This is the first rule of the trap. It's called the saver's punishment. When you do the responsible thing and you save your money, this invisible tax called inflation just slowly eats it away. Your cash becomes less and less powerful every single year. You aren't being lazy, you are being punished for saving.
And then you've got the second rule, the ego tax. Because feeling truly secure seems impossible, a lot of people just settle for looking successful instead. It's this powerful, silent pressure to prove to everyone that you're not failing.
Just take a look at this. Marcus drives this big, expensive truck. The payment is over $700 a month. By the time he actually owns it, he will have paid nearly $64,000 for something that's only going to be worth about $18,000. This one decision keeps him trapped, permanently.
And this is exactly what the system is built for. No one ever tells you this, but your credit card balance isn't a problem for the bank. It is their product. At 23% interest, most of your payment just feeds the bank. Almost nothing goes to your actual debt. You aren't a customer. You're a revenue stream.
This is the trap, and it's designed to be confusing. It's designed to make you feel completely helpless. But here's the good news. There is a way out. It's called the escape protocol.
The escape really begins with understanding what you're actually buying with your savings. It's not just money. It's power. It's the power to say no. The person with zero savings has to say yes to everything. Their job owns them. But the person with a safety net, they own their choices. That money is like body armor for your soul.
The protocol is actually pretty simple. First, stop the bleeding. Treat high-interest debt like it's a deadly virus and kill the ego tax. Second, the 72-hour rule. Never make a big purchase on impulse. Just wait 3 days. That distance kills emotional mistakes. Third, automate. Pay yourself first automatically the second you get paid. And finally, Buy assets, not relief. Use extra money to buy things that make you money, like investments, not things that just make you feel good for a minute.
Because here's the final truth. Real wealth is invisible. It's not the new truck or the fancy watch. It's the assets you don't see, the investments that are working for you in the background. It's the quiet, calm feeling on a Sunday night because you're not in a panic, scrambling to do the math.
That $500 median isn't an accident. It's the result of a system. But you don't have to be a victim of that system. You don't have to play their game. So I'll leave you with just this one question. What if you stopped trying to look rich and started right now trying to be free?